This is Lectio Musica. I'm Matthew David Morris. It's episode 7 of Lectio Musica, and I'd like to start by thanking everyone who's already subscribed to the podcast and left a review. I appreciate your support so very much. Thank you. If you're new to the podcast, let me tell you what this is all about. Lectio Musica is the name of this show, and it is also the name I've given to the practice of writing songs from Scripture. My Christian tradition, along with many others, uses a shared calendar of Scripture readings every week called the Revised Common Lectionary. Our communities lift up the stories in the lectionary during our worship services, and in doing so, we get into a rhythm with one another. We sync up. The intention of this podcast is to look ahead to the upcoming Sunday's lectionary readings and to write a song in response that could serve as either a personal reflection or something we share in worship. Scripture speaks, and we respond with music. I had a conversation this past week about songwriting with Ryan Charles Brown, an alum of Fuller Theological Seminary and the host of the Mission podcast. The conversation started out about movement songs and how one might go about preparing themselves to share songs at protests and marches. It grew into a reflection about the praxis of songwriting, and I'd like to share a couple of ideas that emerged from our talk. The first, context. Now, I've mentioned this before on the show. Context is key. David Byrne writes about this in his book, How Music Works. He notes in the preface that the same music played in a different context can not only change the way a listener perceives that music, but it can also cause the music itself to take on an entirely new meaning. So when we're writing or preparing to share music, we have to be mindful of the context. Let's say you're writing songs in the Lectio Musica practice, and you know your context. It could be a small church setting, or even a house church. Or maybe you're writing songs to bring with you to a rally. What are the next steps? Well, get out a pen and paper. That's right, I'm going old school. And get ready to write a few things down. Let's say your context is a rally. Maybe you want to write a call and response song, and you find one online or at a record store. Do you go to record stores? You should. Maybe you find a call and response song somewhere that you like. Now, listen to that song, and while you're listening to it, transcribe the lyrics onto a piece of paper. Write them down, and put a break between each line and a good space between each verse. And then once you've got them in front of you, spend time looking at them, really looking at them. Take them apart. Look at the cadence, the pacing. Speak them out loud. Look where the lines repeat in form or where they deviate. Digest the internal logic of the lyric. Now, this applies with other contexts and song styles too. Doing this very simple practice of writing lyrics down and looking at them and trying to understand them will help you write your own songs, because you can use some of that same logic when you're crafting your lyric. Okay, now that you've got your pen and paper handy, let's jot down the upcoming Sunday readings. Ezekiel chapter 2, verses 1 through 5. Psalm 123. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 2 through 10. Mark chapter 6, verses 1 through 13. So it's a bit of a gift when you get a passage from a prophet. When you get this passage from Ezekiel 2, 1 through 5, it really informed the beginning of my Lectio Musica practice around the writing of this song.
So he said to me, O mortal, stand up on your feet, and I will speak to you. I just find the language of the prophets to sometimes be so compelling. These people who are saying with such strength that this is what the voice of God says. I mean, that's some boldness right there. So that inspired, in part, this song, but also the words of Jesus as he's talking to his followers around what you're going to do when someone doesn't welcome you. What are you going to do when you encounter this difficulty, when someone does not extend hospitality to you? That was as real then as it is today. That experience happens now. And Jesus says, shake off the dust and move on. And so with that, I give you this song, Testify. 2, 3, 4. Shake off the dust and move on. There's work to be done, work to be done. Measure your steps and walk on. There's work to be done. Nobody is a prophet in their hometown. Just hit the ground running now. And God said, mortal, mortal, better come clean. I send you forth to testify. Oh, mortal, mortal, say what you mean what you say when you testify, testify. I send you forth to testify, testify. I send you forth to testify, testify. Shake off the dust, my friend. There's trouble ahead, trouble ahead. Leave all your stuff, go empty-handed. No money, no bread. Nobody is a prophet in their hometown. I hit the ground running now. And God said, mortal, mortal, better come clean. I send you forth to testify. Oh, mortal, mortal, say what you mean what you say when you testify, testify. I send you forth to testify, testify. I send you forth to testify. Pray with your hands, pray with your feet, pray with your body. Pray with your hands, pray with your feet, pray with your body. Pray with your hands, pray with your feet, pray with your body. Pray with your hands, pray with your feet, pray with your body. Oh, mortal, mortal, better come clean. I'll send you forth to testify. Mortal, mortal, say what you mean what you say. Oh, mortal, mortal, better come clean. I send you forth to testify. Oh, mortal, mortal, say what you mean what you say when you testify, testify. I send you forth to testify, testify. I send you forth to testify, testify.
In the current cultural moment, we need more songs. We need songs that make us feel something. We need songs that inspire our imagination. We need songs that point to the kind of world we're living in and to the world we'd like to build together. Friends, if you can write a text message, you can write a song. It takes work, but it is such a valuable human activity. It connects us to ourselves, to each other, and especially when inspired by the words of Scripture, it connects us to the eternal songwriter who creates, inspires, and comforts, and who calls us to do the same. Thank you for listening to Lectio Musica. This podcast is made possible by a grant from the Episcopal Evangelism Society at ees1862.org. The song from this week's episode, Testify, was written by me and recorded by Jordan Richter, with assistance from Andy Green at Room 13 Recording Studios in Portland, Oregon. If you like what you've heard, please leave your review of Lectio Musica on iTunes or Stitcher, and share it with a friend via text message, email, just spread the word. And may God's love inspire you to sing.